Episode 40, WIMTY, back at it. Really quickly, we got some pretty cool news. We just got a small little syndication deal going on with 30A Songwriter Radio. So that means after our episodes air on here in all of our traditional formats, we'll also be syndicated through 30A Songwriter Radio. They're also affiliated with iHeartRadio. So should expand our listening base a little bit. Hopefully there's some people that are into it. This will probably be the either first or second episode we throw them on it.
Yeah.
Actually.
It'll start airing on Saturdays.
I believe so.
Live, and then it'll be archived on their stuff. And
we're
growing, man.
Yeah. So
Episode
cool.
40, we're getting it. We're blowing up. We're going to the top.
That's right. We've had some offers for some ads, but we never followed through on it because I guess we don't want to make any fucking money doing this.
Yeah, we're stupid.
But that'll come. I should have some time freeing up a little bit come November that I'll be able to put a little more time into what we're doing here rather than just, the time that we already spend coming in here and interviewing everyone. So anyway, our guest today is Tiffany Clemons. She came in all the way from Birmingham just to be on our show, so we're super appreciative of that. Tiffany works for what's the name of the center, Shayne?
Alice Stevens Center.
Alice
She's
Stevens
at UAB.
Center. At UAB, yeah.
She's the marketing director. Yeah. Oh, she'll get it on to that.
So she talks about all that. Also, she is an avid concert goer and festival attendee.
Yeah.
We get into a little bit of that as well. Hashtag I want to live in a festival forever. Just that pretty quickly into the episode. But anyway, thank you everyone for listening so far. Please reach out to us, WIMTY, WIMTY.podcast@gmail.com. Love to hear from you, and we hope you enjoy listening to this episode with our friend, Tiffany Clemons. All right, number 40. Good round number. My guest today is Tiffany Clemons. Tiffany, what's up?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Just got in from Birmingham.
Birmingham, Alabama.
The new Atlanta.
I would call it more like the poor Nashville.
Poor Nashville, new Atlanta. Whatever.
She drove all the way here just to be here.
To
be on the show.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, you're going to hang out this weekend, though, right? Or at least for a few days?
Yeah.
You're not driving back tonight.
No.
Yeah.
I'll be here for a few days. I just, we'll work remote.
You still have your people here?
Friday. Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
Same old.
What's your work like? I see you posting stuff all the time. I know it has something to do in entertainment, as far as I know. Maybe special events for UAB is what I'm thinking.
So that's kind of funny. People always ask, what do you do, considering that I'm like traveling and doing fun stuff like all the time. But that's the beauty of social media. Just shows all the fun stuff that you do, none of the work that you actually do. But yeah, I am the marketing specialist at UAB's Alice Stevens Center, which is the performing arts center at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. And as the marketing specialist, I pretty much do anything related to marketing, ad buying, digital media, Facebook, website, radio, TV, everything. And it's super rewarding. Like, I really love working there. And we have a tiny little marketing department. There's like 3 of us. But we almost work as an agency because of the way that our performing arts center is laid out. So we have 4 venues. And we have our own presented season. However, as the Alice Stevens Center at UAB, we are also the home of the Department of Theater and the Department of Music. We are also the home of the Alabama Symphony Orchestra. And then we also have Art Play, which is our education outreach program, and Arts and Medicine, which we go into the hospitals and we bring arts and music as a healing process. In there, and we were the only program like that in the state for a while, but I believe that it's being picked up in some other places as of now. But it's an incredible place, and I genuinely love working there. I've been there for 3 years now, and it's kind of crazy that I've been gone from Destin for that long.
How'd you get that job?
The crazy thing called the internet. And it's funny too, because as a marketing person, it's really hard to get a job not knowing somebody. And I blindly applied for this job, and my boss to this day is like, yeah, your resume just really stood out. And I got this job with 0 connections from out of state. So anytime you apply for a marketing job out of state, it's very rare that you get hired because there's 82 other marketing girls down the street that can do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm still very blown away the fact that I got this job. And I'll never forget, my boss even said the first time we did a phone interview, I put her on speakerphone because, I'm a hand talker and I want to walk around and take notes and whatever. And now that I have the job, it was really funny, but she told me, she was like, oh my God, the second you put me on speakerphone, I was like, I hate this person. But look at me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Right on. Well, before we get into a lot of this stuff, there's one thing that I've been meaning to talk to you for a while, and you seem to use the hashtag "I want to live in a festival forever" pretty frequently, and I wanted to discuss the actual implications of doing such.
Sure. Because
I don't think that that'd be very pleasurable for anybody. Because normally by 3 days of being at a music festival, everyone smells bad. All you want is a clean shower. You've either drank too much or done other mind-altering substances to where you're definitely not yourself anymore. So I'm just trying to... Here's an example. When I was 6 years old, I got in trouble in Sunday school class because our Sunday school teachers told us that when we died and went to heaven, that we'd sing praises to Jesus forever. And I said, that doesn't sound like something that I'd like to do. So I basically refused heaven because singing praises to Jesus, I had other things that I wanted to get done.
Okay.
Rather than just singing praises to Jesus all day. So using that as an analogy for your hashtag, I want to live in a festival forever. Have you actually thought about living in a festival forever?
Absolutely. So let's clarify one thing here, that I want to live in a festival forever. This is not exclusive to a music festival. I mean, this could be a food festival, a beer festival, an art festival. It could be any of those types of things.
A work festival at UAB?
Sure. And you know what? Working at my job is kind of a festival because I kind of have this going on, I have that going on. There's always multiple things to do. So, I don't know. I just think the beauty of, going to a festival is that you can experience so many different things in one place. And I have experienced that a majority of the time, everybody there is happy. Like, it's an escape from sort of real world. Like, I go to music festivals and whether or not they're on mind-altering drugs or drunk or whatever, they're still happy and they're having a good time. And they think that you are the most beautiful person on the planet. And you get to experience new things. And, I go to these music festivals and people are always like, oh, that lineup sucks. That lineup sucks. That lineup sucks. I mean, everyone has something to bitch about all the time. And it's like, I don't care what the lineup is. Like, I'm going to go and find a new band and experience something new. Like, for example, this just happened today and it makes me really excited. Back in 2017, I worked media at Hangout, interviewing artists and stuff like that. And I got to see and meet this dude named Mondo Cosmo. And he had a great set. He was super entertaining. But it wasn't until he did this private solo show in the VIP section. He basically does his set and then he ends it saying, my name's Mondo Cosmo. That's Cosmo with a Z because that's how my dog spells it. And he's like, I named my band after my dog and all this stuff or whatever. So I end up meeting him backstage and we bond over dog talk and stuff like that. And I start listening to his music and I just love him. I think that he's awesome. And he came to Birmingham and we met again, chit-chatted or whatever. And he just announced today of 6 or 7 dates with the Revivalists. So who I happen to know, and that's super cool. And I'm just that little worlds collide, and I go to these festivals and I meet people who I know through 8 levels of connections, and it just makes the world seem a little bit better. I guess I don't know how to explain it, but. Everyone's happy. I'm happy. I experience new things that maybe I would never do otherwise. And who doesn't want to do that?
I can share that sentiment. I remember the first time I went to Bonnaroo, I was basically like, this is it.
Oh, yeah.
These people get it. I was just smoking weed, and that cop was on a horse, and I said, I love your horse, and he said, thank you.
Right?
And I walked right by him.
Right.
This is how society is supposed to function.
Right.
This is it. So I definitely understand that sentiment.
I mean, that's kind of, and that's funny that you asked that because I have a shirt that says, I want to live in a festival forever. And speaking of Bonnaroo, I was checking into Bonnaroo, I was getting my credentials this year, and one of the guys working there was like, do you really want to live in a festival forever? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he was like, have you ever been at a festival, like, when it's over? Because it looks like a concentration camp. And I was like, that's why I want to live in it forever, not the aftermath forever. Like, come on, I want to just... Let's just ride the wave, and it was comical.
As someone who's been on all sides of the festival game now, yeah, it's really like he and I go to the same festival every year. We go to 420 Fest every year.
Honey Hole,
as part of our Honey Hole's the spot. But it makes it so much different for me now than say 10 years ago because I'm looking at production. I'm looking at how many people are here versus what ticket sales were versus how much was, I know that band goes for this amount and this production had to cost this much for this day. And then I'm like, man, are they making money on this or are they losing money?
Yeah, he's the worst for the first 4 hours of the day.
Yeah.
Until he, pounds his 10th IPA and then forgets about that shit, starts having fun, and then it's great.
Well, I kind of feel the same because, I work in the industry as well, like working at a venue. And just being around, and I've attended so many concerts and festivals, and organization is my number one thing. Organization can make or break an experience at a festival.
Absolutely.
And I absolutely do the same thing. And but for the most part, I try to push it aside and have a good time.
Yeah, it takes me a little bit, but we get there.
But I feel like my experiences are knowledgeable when I leave there, whether or not I want to go back or people ask me how it was. And, and I, after have been to so many, I feel like people kind of respect what I have to say about.
Yeah. What was your first one?
It was actually Bonnaroo in 2009.
Oh, okay.
Good times. It was when Fish got back together and did 2 nights.
Okay.
I think I went 07, 08.
We went to a festival together. Well, we didn't go there together, but we hung out. This was when Kelby and I first started dating. What was that? That was Blackwater.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That was
Blackwater
a great fest.
2011, maybe.
That was a great festival. I mean, it was. The whole time were you like, there's
great.
No way they're making money on this?
Oh, absolutely. Because there was no one there.
There was nobody there.
Dude,
but
we were
at
Ghostland. We were at Ghostland on the fucking amphitheater stage, and there's 500
Girl
kids
Talk.
out there.
That's when Girl Talk was blowing up.
Yeah, there was Girl Talk out there. Dark Star was out there.
It was so good. That was such a great fest. The weather was perfect. Everything about
STS9.
It was very organized. Everything about that festival was
lovely. There were less people there than at your typical Bear Creek. When Bear Creek was at Swan,
by 3, way less, 25%. There was nobody there.
That's why they didn't do Blackwater again for 4 years.
Yeah.
They did it again one more year.
Did?
Coincidentally, that's the date I got engaged. Was actually at the second Blackwater that they did. Was when I asked Kelby. Well, right before the festival, was when I asked Kelby to marry me. So
that was such a good festival.
Yeah,
good time. I love that park. Spirit of Swanee is amazing. I'm going to Halloween this year. So excited about that.
Yeah, Kelby's mentioned going a couple times. I just don't think we can make it happen. I've got a lot going on in September and October. So, but plus Halloween, I think they're selling 25,000 tickets to that. It's
amazing.
Yeah, have you been to
It's
Halloween?
a magical place. So I went a couple years ago when Revivalists were there, but I've been to multiple festivals at that park, obviously. But I'm usually a voodoo girl because I love New Orleans. But I went to Halloween that one year, and it was funny because I actually followed the Revivalists from Mobile to Halloween, simultaneously. But the art installations there are just absolutely incredible. They will blow your mind. It's like being in a different world.
Yeah.
It's kind of a no-brainer of where to go.
I'm gonna have to do it before it goes away because it definitely has a lifespan. I hope that if String Cheese decides not to do it, that they'll still continue it without them. I don't know if that's a possibility because that's kind of String Cheese's festival.
It totally is.
Which do you like though? Are you? Take it or leave it.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So this is my thing. With the jam bands, the Fishes and the Grateful Deads and the Panics and the String Cheese and all that stuff. Is that my number one choice to listen to in the car? No, but I love all live music and completely respect live music and never have a bad time. So,
good on you. 'Cause I'm not. That shit's horrible.
Oh, so you're the pouty guy, yeah.
I'm not a pouty guy. I just fucking leave.
Yeah, I try to with a lot of jam, because there are some jam bands that I'm a fan of that I enjoy listening to.
Right.
And then there's some that I'm just like, I can't do this. I gotta get out of here now.
I mean, I get that, but I just feel like.
But I don't need acid. I don't do hard. I don't know if that's a hard drug. I don't know if that's the right word for it. But I don't eat mushrooms either. I don't do a lot of those things. I don't do cocaine. So like the three main drugs that all the jam band kids are doing, acid, and Molly. Like I don't do any of those four. So I guess that's why I don't like the music. I don't know. I've just never been into those.
I don't know. Oh, I do like some of those, but but I wouldn't say that has any necessarily serious impact on my experiences at shows like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just have never really had a bad time at a live music show that I can think of at this moment. I'm sure I'll come up with one in like an hour. But
Right.
But yeah.
Well, mine's usually not the act itself as much as it's the crowd.
Gotcha.
And
well, I'm actually a back of the crowd.
Kind of like Alabama
person.
football.
Oh God.
Yeah. I compare Alabama football to like Panic.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm sure a lot of people are like, fuck yeah! But like, super talented musicians up there for the most part. His voice drives me fucking nuts. But like, those dudes can play their instruments for sure. I'd be hard pressed to say those guys suck. They don't suck. I'm just not into what they do. However, much like Alabama, no one can say Alabama sucks. Bullshit. They've won how many national titles? Whatever. However, you can say with confidence that their fans are fucking awful. And honestly,
agreed.
And you could also say,
I live in Alabama. Don't forget.
I know.
God,
but you went to fucking Auburn, so
I know.
we're good. We can talk shit.
Yes, absolutely. Let's keep going.
But what I will also say is that a majority of those fans know nothing about that subject either. So, like a lot of people, a lot of your hardcore Panic fans don't know shit about music. They don't know shit about a lot of music because you know what? All they like is Panic.
Yeah, it's just a safe place to do their drugs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I'd say that's the same way with a lot of Alabama football fans. Like, you start talking to them about other conferences or other things that are happening. No, that's all they know is Alabama. Nick Saban,
I'm shaking my head yes and rolling my eyes so hard.
You don't think that's true?
That is absolutely true.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh God. I mean, like, again, I live in Birmingham and football starts this weekend. And I got my Auburn earrings on.
Sweet.
But, yeah, it's a nightmare.
You're going to win your first game?
It's a nightmare.
Honestly?
I honestly have no idea because I haven't been keeping up with any, like, preseason stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm, like, one of those people where it doesn't even... What does preseason even matter? Like, show me what you're going to do, like, on the field. Like, I don't care if you're a 5-star or this or you did this or whatever.
You got a big game, first game, though, right?
We're playing Washington.
Yeah,
and the Mercedes-Benz Stadium,
Yeah.
Atlanta. So,
Isn't that the last time you played was at Mercedes-Benz?
Oh, yeah.
Against the mighty Knights of
And you know what's funny is I went to
the true national champions.
I went to the Georgia game and the Alabama game that were both at home. Now that the schedules have flip-flopped, so now we always play Alabama and Georgia at home or away in the same season, which is kind of crap. It used to be flip-flopped, but whatever. I'm not bitter. So this year, I went. Those are the only 2 football games I went to this whole year, and we won. And I kind of blame myself for not going to the SEC championship. That's probably the first SEC championship I haven't been to. I mean, since 2003, and it's all my fault. But whatever. I'm not bitter. But yeah,
that was a really weird football year because your national champions didn't even win their conference.
No.
Like, how crazy is that? How crazy is that you can have a national champion who wasn't their conference champion?
All right,
that's crazy. There's some Nick Saban.
We found it. I don't want to
redneck bullshit.
I don't want to talk about that.
It's fine. I can't really say that I'm really well versed in Auburn football this year. I'm usually like pretty like obsessed with it, but I've just kind of, I don't know. We've been. God, Auburn fans are going to hate me. Whatever, I'm not a bandwagon fan. I'm still a true fan. But, like, we've been mediocre for so long. it's like we do something and then we don't do something. Like, I really feel like we haven't done anything since Kick Six. It's like we kind of blew our load and then that was it.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't done anything since. Yeah, this year we beat Georgia and Alabama in 2 fantastic games. Probably the best games we've played since Kick Six. But what happened? Like, you know what I mean? We haven't done anything since Kick Six. And it's just kind of, I mean, I'm not over it by any means, but it's frustrating.
Well, yeah. That was Cam Newton won a national championship, right?
Yeah, I was there. Glendale. Good times.
Yeah.
But then we lost the national championship 2 years later, and it was really funny because we went to Glendale for the national championship, and I begged my parents, like, please help me out with getting these national championship tickets, blah blah blah. We haven't done this since like the 80s. There's no telling if we're ever going to do this again as long as I live. And then 2 years later, we go back to the national championship, and I'm like, hey, can y'all get me?
How much was your ticket?
I luckily I
like
have friends
$1,200 or some shit.
No way, I would never pay that.
Yeah.
Like, I would figure it out. I would like throw on a neon yellow security shirt and sneak in before I paid $1,200. But that also adds to my like festival excitement. So I always know how to cheat the system. But yeah, no, I definitely didn't pay anywhere near that. But it was just really funny that I had told my parents, like, hey, I really want this for my Christmas present. This might never happen again in my whole life. And then 2 years later, it was like, boom, we're going back. And then,
that's not mediocre, though.
Yeah.
But
if that's mediocre, I need to adjust my standards.
You do, yeah. Because listen, we are Auburn. Our direct rival, conference and state rival, is fucking Alabama. Mm-hmm. It's not fair. Like, who does LSU have to play?
Like Alabama every other year, right?
But it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just not fair that Alabama. And yeah, they have a great football program. I'm not going to like deny that. And Saban is a great coach. I'm not going to deny that. But having them as your direct rival, and what is the statistic of like whoever wins the Auburn-Alabama game goes to the SEC championship and then typically goes to the national championship? Yeah. Like, that's been the statistic for however many years. Like, it's just kind of ridiculous, and it's frankly not fair. It makes me frustrated. Makes me really frustrated. But
well, whatever. It's tough too because, like I said, I hate on Alabama football all the time, but like I think Nick Saban is the best coach in college football, hands down. Like, if Nick Saban quit and wanted to go coach at Michigan, I'd be like, all right, bring him. I'm okay with that. I
don't know. Like,
I like Nick Saban. Really? Yeah, I like Nick Saban. I really do. I like the way he talks to the media. I like the way he talks to his players. He
handles himself great.
Yeah, he doesn't fuck around. He, he'll talk to you, but at the same time, he doesn't let you just run all over him in the media or anything like that.
See, I felt like that about Gene Chizik. I feel like we let go of him way too fast. The way that he handled all of the Cam Newton crap was, like, impeccable. Like, the way that he handled the media and just avoiding, like, any sort of drama. Like, I thought that he was very much CEO. Like, he could put on his CEO face and just handle it, and it was great. I really loved him. I think that, after one, like, I don't even think it was 2 crappy years. I think it was like 1 crappy year, and we like got rid of him. Yeah, it was just
and Saban just spawns winning coaches too. Like look what Kirby Smart did last year.
I know.
First year at Georgia, right?
I know. I was like, I really wanted
to hear it. Isn't Malzahn from? Isn't he one of Saban's guys too? No, Malzahn wasn't ever.
He came from Arkansas State.
Yeah. Okay. Misspoke on that.
But
it was Kirb's first full year.
Yeah.
No, you know what? And now that I say that, I think Malzahn was under Chizik. He was under Chizik, then went to Arkansas State, and then came back to Auburn as the head coach. Don't quote me on
What do you think of Malzahn?
But I'm pretty sure. I was on the Gus Bus for a while. Am I super on the Gus Bus now? No, just because I feel like we haven't done anything since Kick Six. But, I have high hopes for this year. How about we just leave it at that?
Yeah.
Like, again, I haven't really kept up with football as much as I usually do this year, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, like last year we were kind of win some, you lose some all the way until the very end. And then, of course, we all got excited and then we were let down. Thanks, Georgia.
I think you're going to have a good year. I think that first game is going to dictate your year, but I think it's going to be a good one.
Well, we'll see.
But yeah, you have Washington, and they're already talking Washington going to Final Four.
Oh, super.
Dude, there's so many good games this first week, though. Michigan's playing Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I think Alabama's playing, West Virginia or Virginia Tech?
And they're playing
like
down
that.
in Orlando,
yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Virginia. No, it's West Virginia, right?
I think it's West Virginia.
Or Virginia Tech. Who's Alabama playing? Something like that.
Why are they playing in Orlando? I thought that was weird.
I think,
all those
Alabama, their first game every year they play at a neutral site. Like 2 years ago when they beat the shit out of Michigan, they played at Jerry Dome.
Yeah, I was in St. Dallas.
And then...
well, we only ever play in Atlanta when it's like the Chick-fil-A kickoff game, which I assume that's what this is.
Yeah,
it was always that
so.
at the Georgia Dome, so
Probably
I assume
so.
it's still Mercedes. But
no, you guys have the Chick-fil-A game.
Yeah, but what is West Virginia? Why would that be in Orlando?
No, their first game is Louisville.
Oh fuck! What was I even thinking?
Why would that
what
be
was
in
I
Orlando?
talking about?
I still don't understand.
Is it in Orlando? Let's see.
It's Orlando or Tampa.
I think so.
Orlando.
I think you're right.
It's in Florida. I know that. It's weird.
Tell me.
What's with all the $2 bills? I just deposited one in the bank yesterday. I should have brought it.
That I don't know what the deal. I think I got tipped in that one night when I was a bartender, and
that's how I got my $2 bill.
It's been stuck in that thing.
For listeners who are listening, Tiffany's referring to. How do you describe this? It's a
woodpecker.
Well, it's a
peacock.
It's a Hendrix. It's a Hendrix gin.
Yeah.
I think it's a woodpecker.
It's a Hendrix gin thing. It's its own.
But it's a blue
thing.
woodpecker.
That's its own thing. It's a most unusual gin. It's all kinds of weird, funky characters.
Gotcha.
That was our
so it's like a peacock in a suit holding a bottle of Hendrix gin.
Yes.
And there's 5 $2 bills in his hand as well. But the $2 bills I think came from a tip. That was my favorite piece from Funky Blue Shack. The original Funky Blue Shack here in town.
I just drove by and I didn't know they put an auto zone
fucking shame,
there.
right?
It really is. I kind of teared up a little bit.
Yeah.
That is really sad. Yeah.
It's crazy to think, all the people that played in that little room. You know?
Yeah.
The Revivalists twice. Moon Taxi a couple times. Played there as well.
I love them.
Bands that are just, really doing it on a huge level right now. I mean, we fucking Widespread Panic. We had JoJo in there.
Your fave?
Yeah.
Didn't you work that night?
I did. I served JoJo his wine and
That's
dinner.
Right.
He was a dick. And yeah, but anyway, that was
that's JoJo.
That's the worst thing anyone
JoJo.
could ever say. Yeah. But, yeah. So anyway, I don't know what the significance of the $2 bills were. I think it was that it was such an unusual piece that I got anyway. That $2 bills are still unusual, so I think I threw them in there to add to the piece. That was supposed to be a fantasy football trophy, but I just kept it in here because I thought it was pretty great. That's why there's a spotlight on him.
I like it.
And that's a Jimbo Fisher. That's a Jimbo Fisher signed football underneath there as well. From the year that Florida State won their national championship.
I need to bring you some stuff that I have just sitting in my house for my non-man cave.
If you would like to add anything to the room, feel free.
I have
I
have a goodies hat signed by Richard Petty. It's just chilling. You can have it. We'll put it on the bird.
Yeah, for sure.
That was supposed to be our fantasy football trophy,
right?
And it never happened. Never left.
Who won that year?
I
think Faircloth the first year.
Yeah, I won it not last year, the year prior. And it never moved. Alabama plays Louisville in Orlando for the Camping World kickoff. Camping World Stadium.
World.
Your wife just texted me, and she needs to know if you fed your dog. It's very important.
No. I've not fed.
Dog is hungry.
The dogs.
Aww.
Oh, here we go. I'm just looking. I normally don't. I have a no phone rule, but I have my iPad here.
That's all right.
A no phone rule for the iPad. Here we go. Did the pups have dinner? First message, 21 minutes ago. 9 minutes ago, they're saying they didn't. Our dogs trick us. They'll try to get double breakfast and double dinner on us.
Dogs are so smart.
Act like they haven't been fed.
Dogs are so smart.
And she can't double feed Solge. So,
Oh.
Said, hey,
did you respond for me,
no,
Shayne?
hey, super important question.
Did you respond?
No,
Please respond to her. So,
Said no.
Tell her I said hi.
yeah,
No, he did not.
no food. Clemens says hello.
Yeah. What a.
Tiff Clemons says hi.
Yellow.
Fuck,
Sorry, we got off subject. We were talking about
Kill-
football, and then we got the bird and the July Bills and all that stuff. So yeah, let's not talk about Alabama football anymore. I'm over it.
Right on. What about how's Birmingham? Like, to be honest with you, in the last 3 or 4 years, I've been to Birmingham probably 10 times.
Okay.
Whether that's been on tour or for whatever other reason, and I like it. I like downtown Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a decade ago, when the Mellow Mushroom reopened right down there at 5 Points, that's right by where you work.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't so nice. It wasn't
I believe
such a
it.
cool place to be around. But in the last few years since I've been there, I like it for sure. What's your take on it? You like Birmingham? Or?
Birmingham's definitely in its renaissance, but
You ever go to Dreamland?
yeah, those barbecue nachos get you every time. But
What's Dreamland?
Dreamland
it's a
barbecue.
barbecue. Yeah, so there's so much barbecue there. There's Dreamland, there's Full Moon, there's Saws is probably my favorite. And now we just
Saws?
got this new Rodney Scott guy from like North Carolina or something. He's coming in and opening a place. But yeah, Saws is where it's at. They got this.
So is like Birmingham going to have their own? Because there's like Kansas City style barbecue. There's
Well, we have the
St.
white.
Louis
We have the
style
white
barbecue.
sauce. We have the white
Okay.
barbecue
Oh,
sauce.
that's right.
That's an Alabama thing.
Do you eat that shit?
It's delicious.
Fuck no.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Do you eat that shit? Do you eat the white barbecue sauce?
I'm not opposed to it, but no, I don't order
It's
it.
like put mayonnaise on your barbecue. Fuck that, man. Give me.
It's like
barbecue
ranch.
sauce.
It's like a better ranch. Do you like ranch?
It's basically
I'm not a.
He likes ranch. He's just.
I'm not a
trying
big
to-
white sauce guy. Every now and then I do enjoy ranch.
you gotta mix it with the red sauce.
Basically, working out mellow mushroom. It's fucking
You have to.
gross.
You need 82 different condiments to go with your food.
Working out mellow mushroom ruined ranch for me.
Oh,
For sure.
well, don't hate on the white sauce because it's
What about you?
delicious.
I've kind of delved back into the ranch game. I'm not
You're
gonna lie.
back in the ranch.
I'm not, no, because Mellow Mushroom did ruin that shit when you see people just dumping on their pizza and whatnot. And I was mistakenly given ranch with I got like some burger and fries like not too long ago, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna dip this French fry in this ranch."
It's delicious.
just been
Welcome back.
Old friend. I'm all about some fucking French fries and some ranch. It's fucked up. I didn't want to be. I don't want to be.
Oh god.
I'm kind of embarrassed that I just I said that.
Yeah.
No,
I've been hiding.
don't
that.
be embarrassed. Welcome home. Welcome home.
I'll rock a little. I'll rock a little bit of ranch every now. Now that I'm out of the mellow mushroom game, I'll rock a little bit of ranch. Ranch, dipping your pizza crust in ranch is pretty good. It's pretty tasty. However, those people that are just like dousing their like from like first slice of the pizza, dunking
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit in ranch and just shoving that
Like,
shit in their
no.
maze, that person's a monster.
Oh,
It's the same person that cuts up their pasta. Like,
Oh fuck me! Fuck me!
It's that funny story about that. My father is blonde hair, blue eyed, is as Hollander as you can get. Basically, he's Hitler's dream baby. Basically, like if Hitler drew a baby, it'd look like my dad. And my mom is Italian, as Italian as can be. My grandfather was full blood Italian. One of the first dinners he ever came over to my mom's place to eat with them, he started cutting up his pasta, and I think my grandfather about murdered him right there. Like that's just not something you do. I think he like taught him how to twirl it and shit, like, and told him to get the fuck out of his house or something.
oh, that's
Like,
so funny.
It didn't go well.
That's
But you're
so
right.
funny.
Cutting up pasta, that's
So fucking.
So
sad.
no.
But to change your mind on the white sauce game, we have this fantastic hot chicken place in Birmingham called Eugene's. So you get like the spiciest hot chicken you can, and then you get this little cup of white sauce, and you just dunk it in there, and it's this perfect meld of like sweet and savory. I mean, spicy and savory, and it's just it's like a little magic.
It's like an icy hot in your mouth.
It's so good. But yeah, Birmingham it's okay. Like I like it, I don't love it. I've been there for 3 years, and I will say like when I first moved there, okay, so let me just lay this out for you since we're in Destin, and let's really compare this to Destin where I am from to Birmingham to where I live now. So when I moved to Birmingham, I was really like Okay, so at the time that I was applying for jobs, I applied for jobs in like Nashville, New Orleans, Birmingham, because I had great friends from Auburn there, and, you know, back in Austin and whatever. Well, Birmingham just happened to be the first one to bite. So I was just ready to get out of Destin. Do I love Destin?
How did you apply for your jobs? I don't want to get off track, but did you use like Indeed or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And what, you just upload like a resume to there and just send them off to several places?
And I will say the job application process is obnoxious. Like, why do I upload my resume and then have to fill in all of the blanks of everything that's on my resume? I don't understand that, and I never will understand that. But that's the way the world works right now, and whatever. And we can get into the job application process.
I didn't mean to throw you off. I'm just wondering how that even works.
No, that's fine. It's funny. So I have a friend. So while I was applying for these jobs, and this has been like a struggle before in my relationships. So when I graduated college, I graduated from Auburn at the crash of the economy, you know, and couldn't find a job. I ended up moving to Austin with a guy that I was dating at the time, and I applied for 100 jobs every single day, and every single day I'd get 80 rejections. The other 20 just wouldn't even respond. And the guy that I was dating at the time moved to Austin for his job, and I want to say like he managed apartment complexes geared towards college students. So I think that the apartment that he lived in at the time, he got a job there and then was like promoted within. So like he never really had to look and apply for a job. So he didn't really understand what that process was like. So when I was going through that process and struggling through that process, he didn't understand what it was like to be rejected over and over and over and over and over again. And so a guy that I had been dating when I was applying for my jobs again during this process when I got this job in Birmingham, he was the same way. Like, he was in a specialized field and never really had to apply for 82 jobs and then pray to God that he got one. It was just easy for him. So when I was applying for jobs, you know, I apply for 100 a day, you know, and then you get these rejections. And that takes a serious toll on a person, especially me. I'm a Cancer. I'm very emotional. I'm very sensitive. And it takes a toll on a person, and it makes you really stop to think, like, is this what I was meant to do? Is this what I'm supposed to do? And it's rough and whatever. So I made it through. But yes, so I searched the internet. Give me all the marketing jobs. I'm going to apply for all of the marketing jobs. And luckily, I landed on this one. And I don't remember what we were talking about before that, but that's, yeah. The internet. Okay, the Birmingham. Yes. So basically.
Before we get to that, though, another offshoot, because I've searched for marketing jobs before, because my degree is my undergrad is in public relations with a specialization in marketing. So I'm just kind of in your field as well. Okay. So I've noticed that also what they label as marketing jobs will be like door-to-door water salesmen. Yeah. Like selling water softeners.
Absolutely. Really? Sports marketing is like handing out foam fingers. Like, it's ridiculous.
Really bad jobs that they'll just throw marketing on there. And
does it smell okay?
And do it up.
That's what she said.
I don't know what it's supposed to smell like.
So Tiffany brought us a gift from Birmingham that we're actually about to get to, and to how you like Birmingham.
Yeah.
Trim Tab.
Trim Tab
Shout out, yeah.
Which I think Colt brought in one of their IPAs the other day. Colt said he's really been digging this Trim Tab spot.
Trim Tab's supposed to be...
Trim Tab is my... So we probably have, like 13 or 14 breweries in Birmingham. It's kind of insane. But Trim Tab is by far my favorite. Sorry, good people in Avondale. And
is Trim Tab... Are those the guys who do Snake Handler?
No, that is Good People.
That's Good People.
I think Snake Handler is what he brought. No, I don't fucking remember.
I
thought Alabama was playing West Virginia, so don't listen to anything I say the rest of the fucking night.
But, marketing jobs are super hard to find quality wise. But yeah, I want to say that I did find the UAB job on Indeed.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure of that. So, I've been living, so I moved to Austin, couldn't find a job, moved there with a guy. He wasn't the best guy. I moved back to Destin. bim, bam, boom, 5 years later, I'm ready to leave Destin. So I get this job in Birmingham, and I move there. And I get out and about, and I'm very social. I'm an extrovert. I like to meet people. I like to know everybody. I feel like that's why I'm so successful in my field and doing the festival scene and the concert scene and whatever. It's because I know people and know everybody. And luckily, the world is definitely, like, on my side. Anyway, so I moved to Birmingham thinking, oh, this is a bigger city. This is going to be great. I'm getting out of the small town Destin, whatever. I have learned that Birmingham, and the more that I think about it, I don't know if this is just us getting older, that the social structure there is exactly the same as it is in Destin. And I don't know, the more that I talk about this, if this applies to would this apply to every city that I would potentially live in right now? So, Destin, you got your locals, your military, and your tourists. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So in Birmingham, I feel like you have your locals, your college students, and your like UAB residents. So like resident doctors who are there for a certain amount of time and then usually leave, just like the military. So, you know, I moved to Birmingham and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to move to Birmingham. I'm going to make I know a certain amount of people from from Auburn. So that's going to make it a little more comfortable, but I'm immediately going to move there. I'm going to know everyone. Everyone's going to love me. I'm going to be so popular. It's going to be great. Like, whatever. But it wasn't like that whatsoever. It was just like it was here. Like, we're locals. We've been friends with our friends for 30 years and we're good. You know what I mean? And that's exactly the way that it is there. And I felt very unwelcome there for a very long time. I mean, I'm this loud, crazy concert girl with pink hair. Like, I mean, I get it, I guess, but I just really expected it to be something different. And I guess, like, I love, like, big cities like New Orleans and Atlanta and Denver and stuff like that. And, you know, maybe because those cities are more melting pots. Like, it's very rare that you even meet a local in those places. But, you know, now 3 years in, I do like Birmingham. Am I in love with it? No, I'm not. I think the food scene's great. The music scene's decent. But even now, it's like Tuscaloosa has this great amphitheater and a couple of great venues. And a lot of artists are skipping over Birmingham and going straight to Tuscaloosa. Or going straight to Nashville and just skipping Birmingham. And that's a little frustrating because that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get out of Destin. I didn't want to drive 5 hours to Jacksonville to see a show. I didn't want to drive 4 hours to New Orleans to see a show. Or Atlanta or wherever. Like, I wanted to be, you know, immersed in this culture and music and stuff like that. So it was super frustrating and, you know, still is. I'm still finding my way in Birmingham, but it just wasn't as welcoming as I thought it would be. But as of now, I do have a good little group of girlfriends, shout out. But you know, they're all like 5 years younger than me. And sometimes I feel like the old lady of the group and they will yell at me for saying this. But, you know, it is what it is. I love my job. Like, love my job. So,
right. Well, I mean, they obviously they allow you to come talk shit with us on a Wednesday.
True.
So how does that work? Does a lot of your work web based? Like, you can, as long as you have a phone and email, you can get your work done.
Pretty much.
That's the way. Yeah. That's what
pretty much. I mean, I feel like that's the way the world is these days. I mean, what job can you, other than, you know, service industry, what job can you not do via a computer or phone?
Yeah. Aside from the management that I do with one specific band, I could do everything that I can remotely from now on, or this podcast as well. And my wife Kelby she's currently in a program right now that she'll graduate from in a year, and I really want to encourage her if she'd like to have a job to where she can either do consulting or something like that, because we could get our house like VRBO ready. And we could go to Portland. We could go live in Portland for 2 months.
Run away.
Or go live in Nashville for 2 months. Or go live in, you know, fucking Canada, wherever. You know, you go to the Virgin Islands for 2 months and pretty much do that for pretty low cost. And you can still work your job and experience a different place. and still have that home structure here in Destin, but also be able to experience other things, because even getting out on the road on tour and driving through, I just did this crazy cross country trip to Seattle and back in a period of about 8 days, all on the road. And it's Shayne and I talked about this earlier. It's like a total different country, being in like Portland and Seattle, and even I went to San Francisco a few months ago. You don't feel like you're like where we live in Destin, or probably even in Birmingham, versus a San Francisco or a Portland or a Seattle or something like that. It's not even the same country.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. What's beautiful about America?
It's completely different, and it's really rad. But you also kind of get your eyes open and be like, I need to get the fuck out of Destin GTFO. More often. But also when you're away for, I've been away for several months at a time. You're away, you're like, man, I can't wait to see those beaches again. So I got to figure out a way how to keep my home base here, but also be able to go away for several months at a time and come back.
That's why I'm super blessed. Like, my parents are still here, so I can run away and move and do whatever I want, and I'll still have a home base here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they aren't going anywhere, right? They're staying here.
Yeah, forever. Yeah. Well, you know what? I say that, but my mom's side of the family, a lot of them have relocated to Denver. So I would be okay if they relocated to Denver. But, I have a good friend base here. I could always come back. This will always be my home. Like, I was literally born here, and I'll always come back.
Yeah, I was just in Denver last week, and the person that was nice enough to let us stay at their house, they were telling me that there's kind of like that's happening in a lot of cities now, a lot of bigger cities, to where there's kind of like almost like a crisis in rent cost that you're having to pay. So like
Birmingham is terrible.
I'm sure,
considering the poverty rate, like the rent in downtown Birmingham, and they just keep building and building and building, and these places aren't for sale; they're only for rent. It's just, economic.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. They say there's in Nashville right now. They say there's 100 new people that move to Nashville every day.
I believe it. That's how it was.
The population is going up 100 a day. 100 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Yeah,
I know, Denver's, I feel like, peaking really hard right now, and
yeah.
Come to Birmingham, everyone move to Birmingham. Make Birmingham the melting pot that I want it to be.
Well, what I was going to say is I dig Birmingham, and I think Birmingham's getting there, for sure.
I agree.
I think Birmingham's a lot different now than it was a decade ago.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. We just got like 3 James Beard winners or something crazy there now, like big foodie town.
Yeah,
to Sagat, thanks.
It's just like another city that I was really impressed with that I never wanted to go to, just because I thought, like when I heard the name of this city, I just thought redneck was Chattanooga.
I love Chattanooga.
Chattanooga's fucking wonderful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, like I remember it's like this little bowl when you're coming off of the interstate, and I remember coming into Chattanooga and looking and overseeing like the walking bridge and downtown and the river. Yeah, the river coming through and all of that, and I was like, wait, where?
I love it there.
Like this is a good spot. This place feels great, and kind of a neat way that we normally see places when we're on the road is almost any big city now has these bike shares that they have.
Oh, yeah.
To where you just go on, you swipe your card, take a fucking bike, go right around. And if you make it 2 or 3 miles away, park your bike. Yeah. And that's what we do. That's how we try to see cities. That's how we saw Orlando, all that stuff. So we'll catch bikes and ride around for 3 or 4 miles and just at least try to, if you're only there, if you have 4 hours to experience a place, how can you really do that? You don't just want to sit around in the venue.
Yeah. Boring.
So you'll get out and hop on a bike and bounce around, and I was really impressed with Chattanooga too. We've been there several times.
I'm gonna go my first time in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, you'll love it, man.
Wait, when are you going?
It'll be the day after that Georgia game, so it'll be that Sunday. So what's the 6th?
You're 3 weeks away, right?
16th,
3.5 weeks away.
The 16th of
no, you
September.
should go the 22nd because I'm trying to go to Chattanooga the 22nd.
I will be back in Destin on the 22nd.
What are you doing in Chattanooga? The Revivalist playing?
No, so I'm actually going to Red Rocks for the Revivalist. God, you make me sound like a loser. Anyway, I'm going to Red Rocks, and then I'm going to stay in Denver for a week. I'm going to try out their new Grand Doozy Festival. New festival, gotta try it out. I'll let you know how it goes. Revivalist and Red Rocks from the 13th, and then Grand Doozy's that whole weekend. I'm really good friends with Sturgill Simpson's bass player, Chuck.
Right.
Shout out, Chuck. So I'm going to go check him out and check out this festival. And then I'm going to stay. I have family in Aurora right out there. And then I come back on the 20th.
Aurora's pretty much Denver, right?
Pretty much where the airport
It's like
is.
southeast Denver.
Yeah, it's basically where the airport is.
Yeah.
But then Luthi and Moon Taxi are playing in Chattanooga on the 22nd, and I've been like looking for an excuse to go to Chattanooga.
Luthi?
Yeah, Luthi is this kind of new band that I've heard of out of Nashville. They're great. Check them out. Luthi, Luthi.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, they're opening up for Moon Taxi at this new place called The Signal. Or I say that it's new because it's new to me. I've never heard of it. But yeah, you should just stay an extra couple of days and let's go to this. Let's go to the concert.
Stay a week. Let's go stay a week.
You said you were coming back on the 22nd. You could stay another day.
Well, you're going to
I'm gonna go-
Nashville
I'm-
after
I'm-
that, right?
I'm just breaking this trip up.
Oh,
So
now
I'm
the
gonna
story
hang out-
changes. Gotcha.
I'm going to hang out
Okay.
in Chattanooga for a day and a half, and then I'm going to hang out in Nashville.
He's
for like
going to
4 or
go
5
see
days.
Luthi in Nashville
Oh, yeah.
after that.
Great, yeah.
You got to tell me where to go. I don't know where to go.
I'll give you a list.
Yeah.
Where, in Chattanooga
Anywhere.
or Nashville?
All of it. Everywhere.
I was just in Nashville this past weekend.
Because I was saying, like, Chattanooga, or not Chattanooga, like, Nashville is like New Orleans in the sense that, there's, 100 bands plus playing at one time. So it's impossible to kind of go down this list and figure out who's
just stay away
playing
from
what,
Broadway.
where and where. I'm gonna stay about a block off of Broadway.
You should go to Broadway just for fun.
I mean,
Whatever.
that's like the same thing, right? Like when you go to New Orleans for the first time, you have to go to
Yeah,
Broadway.
absolutely.
Like, it's the same thing.
Is this your
right?
first time to Nashville?
Yeah.
What? Oh, I'll get you a good list. But that's funny you say that because I was just there this past weekend. I went and saw Taylor Swift. Don't judge me, but it was amazing.
I'd go see Taylor Swift.
It was
for
amazing.
sure.
The production value of her show was absolutely insane.
Everyone has their little fucking light up wristbands. Have you
Oh,
seen
yes,
that
I had
shit?
those.
Yeah, they have these fat ass, like, it's a fat ass watch. You tell,
Yeah.
you're my guest. You tell a story.
Well,
you
what's
had
funny?
it on your wrist.
Well, what's funny is about getting that wristband is I got it as I walked in the door, and I was like, "What is this?" They're like, "Oh, it lights up when you pull the tab." So I pull the tab, and mine doesn't light up, so I chunk it in the trash.
Oh, like it's synced to like some
Yeah,
song or
so like
something?
the
So the whole stadium lights
the whole
up.
stadium kind of like has
Depending
this,
on what section you're in, is
Yeah,
when that
yeah,
light
yeah,
goes
yeah.
off and what color it'll be. So the
Yeah.
whole stadium lights up.
Yeah.
And
So you fucked it
I
up.
threw mine away.
it's light. It's light designing the audience.
That's
It's
cool.
fucking gorgeous.
Well,
Yeah.
let's be real. The ticket that I had was like this top of the stadium nosebleed, and if you just go check out my Instagram to see where I ended
I
up.
saw it. How did that happen?
If I can't give away all of my secrets.
Oh, bullshit! You can tell me how you got down on Taylor Swift. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
How you got
Get down on Taylor Swift.
how you got down to the
Well,
bottom
this-
floor to see Taylor Swift?
Okay, so I don't know. Okay, I'll just tell you.
What are you
because
writing a book?
Whatever. It wasn't
like,
like
is this proprietary
no,
information?
but you know, it's like the more I like tell my secrets, the more that it might be harder that like venues catch on and like
Yeah.
whatever. I'll always find a way. But so I've been to a million concerts or whatever, and I've been to enough to know that once you scan into the venue, they don't ever scan your ticket again. They just look at it. So, long story short, I was supposed to go to the Taylor Swift show in Atlanta. That fell through, and then I was gonna go to the Nashville show with a friend. That fell through, and I was like, screw it, I'm going to this show, because after I missed her 1989 tour and like heard of all these, guest stars and this and that and that and this, and I felt like I really missed out. I'm not gonna lie.
On that 1989 tour, she brought out a different guest specific to that city
Every
every
single
night,
show.
right?
Every
Like,
single show.
For example, Jimmy Eat World's from Arizona, I think, right? So when she was in Arizona, she brought out Jim,
Mm-hmm.
whatever his name is, the lead singer of Jimmy Eat World, did a Jimmy Eat World song with him.
I mean, yeah,
For example,
she would bring out
yeah.
someone like special every single one. So I was like, oh, this is her Nashville show. This is her hometown show. Certainly something special is going to happen here. And most of her dates, she added a second one, but her Nashville date was only one. She only had one. So I was like, I have to get to this show. I don't want to miss out. So all of these things fall through. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to get my own ticket and go by myself. I don't even care. So I got like a nosebleed seat. And again, like I said, I've been to enough concerts to know the ins and outs of it. Well, I just happened to know a group of girls from Houston that were coming that had floor tickets. So I was like, hey, can you send me a screenshot of your floor ticket? And she's like, why? And I was like, oh, I'm, going to get on the floor. I'm just going to show them my ticket. She's like, oh, they're not going to scan it? And I was like, no. So then all these questions started arising, and I started getting nervous. Like, oh, I've never been to the Titan Stadium. Definitely not for a concert. This, that, whatever. So I was talking to a friend who did go to the Atlanta show, had a floor ticket, whatever. And she's like, oh, well, the floor tickets have wristbands. And I'm like, oh, crap. What color were they? She's like, well, they were orange. And I was like, okay, I think I have an orange wristband in my, my collection or whatever. Maybe that'll work. And I was like, well, how did you get the wristband? And she's like, oh, you just come to the table and you give them your floor ticket and they give you a wristband. I was like, do they scan the ticket? And she said, nope. And I was like, okay, noted. So I got my picture of my friend's floor ticket, took it to the table where they're handing out floor wristbands, showed it to them, boom, wristband. And what's funny about it is
you showed them a picture of the ticket?
Picture of the ticket. They don't scan it. You just show, hey, I have a floor ticket. Quote unquote, floor ticket. Boom. Give me the wristband.
Oh, so that's right. A lot of people don't even deal with physical tickets anymore anyway. They scan your shit when you...
Right, electronic. Yeah. Everything is, So I just show them the floor ticket. Boom, wristband. So I start walking off, and then this guy goes, Tiffany, is that you? And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was just happening to my friend Jamie that I met at Hangout Fest through some other mutual friends. And he's like, I'm trying to get on the floor. And I was like, I got you.
Bullshit.
I swear. I was like, here, just take my phone and go show it to them. Boom. He gets a wristband. We just walk right onto the floor. So we kind of stand in the back by the bar, obviously. So we stand back by the bar, and I was like, I wonder how close we could get.
Was there an opening act?
Yeah, it was Charlie XCX.
Okay.
She sings boom, clap, the sound of my... That's, yeah. And then there's Camila Cabello. Havana, na, na. Yeah, that's it. Anyway.
I don't know who that is. I know who Charlie XCS is.
You don't know Camila Cabello?
No.
I don't know who any of those people are.
What? Okay, we're gonna need to get you all in the top 40, bandwagon. But so those were the opening acts, and so we're standing back there. Taylor Swift comes on, and I was like, hey, let's see how close we can get. So we just walk up to the front because they're super strict about the aisles. We just, march our way up to the front, and someone comes by, hey, you need to be in your row. So we just kind of like tack on, and obviously I can tell these people are annoyed that we are tacking onto their row. So we didn't want to push our luck. So we kind of just walked around and over, and we just kind of stood over by this side stage. And Taylor just happened to come over to that side stage.
Yeah.
And I could have pretty much touched her. It was insane. So
yeah, I saw your Instagram.
So
video.
that's
like,
how I did it.
Did she bring anybody out?
Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Oh.
But yeah, it
wasn't that
exciting.
That's a big deal to people in Nashville, though, right?
Yeah, I just expected I don't know what I expected.
Who did you expect?
Be honest. I don't know. But I mean,
who's the biggest star in Nashville right now, aside from Taylor Swift?
I mean, I definitely expected Tim McGraw, but I feel like he would have come because they have a song together. Tim and Taylor have a song called Highway, and I just assumed that would be it. But I will tell you. So back to the concept of there being 1,000 shows out on one night. So I actually leave right before Tim McGraw comes out because I'm like, okay, I know all the sets because she's doing the same set at every single show.
Yeah, it's a rehearsed performance.
Because the production value is so high, you can't really.
You need to be in this specific place at this time,
right?
Yeah.
So I had read the set list. I'm going to meet up with other friends, so I'm like, okay, I don't really care about this last set. I'm out. Let me go catch an Uber. So I go out. I leave right before Tim McGraw, and I go outside, and 2 hours later, I'm still out there. So I basically missed the whole last set, which is whatever. I don't care. But 2 hours later, I am still out there trying to get my Uber. Like, my service cut out. I'm trying to cancel the Uber. The Uber's trying to call me, this, that, whatever. Like, I'm trying to just walk to wherever I'm trying to go. I try to hop in 2 taxis. One taxi's like, I'm not going to take you to where you want to go. And the other taxi wants to charge me like $70. And I'm like, okay, this is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm like about to cry. I'm just like, I'm over this. And once I got back to work on Monday, I saw like this, those like meme things or whatever, basically listing out every single thing that was happening on Saturday night in Nashville. It was like Journey, Need to Breathe, Taylor Swift, soccer game, this, that, like, and it was basically, and it added up all of the fans, and it was like 100,000+ additional people that like wouldn't be out and about on that certain night. And I was like, oh, this is why it took me 2 hours.
Well, yeah, I would assume there was 50,000 alone at Taylor Swift.
Yeah, they had 69,000 on that thing, but I don't know if that's like the capacity of there, how many people were there, or what. I don't know.
Well, especially because you're talking floor too.
There was a lot of people there.
Could you imagine selling that many tickets?
Oh,
but
I heard
after night after
she
night.
makes $7 million a show on this tour.
Yeah. There was a stat. Shayne, if you look it up, I think like in 2015, I think Taylor Swift made $1 million a day.
I believe it.
In like 2014 or 2015. There was a stat that she made
I mean,
$1
that's
million
probably
a day.
very equivalent to this, considering she's doing a show every other day. And if she's making $7 million a show... Oh, God.
Yeah,
I can't even pay my student loans. That's, like, nauseating.
Yeah, you really have to love what you do to be able to make $365 million in a year and then still do that shit. Because I love what I do.
2015, it's reported.
Yeah. Like, I love what I do.
She was 25.
You give me $3 million. You give me $3 million and I'm done.
I'll take one. Shit.
Forever. You give me $3 million, I'm gonna put that in something safe that I can live off the 6 or 7% interest I collect every year. I'm done working.
She's racked almost $500 million.
I'm surprised it's not even $1 billion yet. Jesus.
What do you think? Like, what are her thoughts when she first wakes up?
She's not even 30.
Or like, do you think she like wakes up in some sort of like weird chamber that like keeps her
with
young?
With her cats? Yeah, absolutely.
And
keeps her young. She's fucking.
Yeah, I was gonna say
she's
she's a baby.
Yeah, I know, but she probably has to. She has to see the future and all that kind of stuff. Like, I wonder what her real life is like.
I mean, she hangs out with her best friends with celebrities. Like, apparently Carly Cross. People are gonna hate me for this. Anyway, her model best friend, she was like walking around at the show, and people were like crying, and I'm like, what? Who is that? I don't even know who that is. And like Reese Witherspoon was there, Nicole Kidman was there, all these people.
I feel like she's done a really good job with keeping her reputation like
really
just perfect. Yeah. I don't know shit about her though.
Really?
But I mean, she dates nothing but whoever is the top at the moment, right? She's dated every the most popular successful actors.
I don't fucking know.
She makes millions and millions of dollars. She writes songs that like,
I'm a Swiftie.
Like, I know. I mean,
a Swiftie.
But everyone, straight, gay, bisexual, white, black,
you can't not like her.
Everybody loves Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I think she's done a really good job with navigating that market.
But I feel like you either love her or you hate her. But
people
either way,
hate Taylor Swift.
But either way, you want to look at her. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not a fan.
Do you hate Taylor Swift?
I'm not a fan.
But you don't hate her,
right?
Well, I don't have a reason to hate her.
But I mean, I feel like people she was a notorious dater for a really long time. Like, I sort of hate her that she dated John Mayer because I think John Mayer's my soulmate.
Yeah, but John Mayer has dated every other. John Mayer is the equivalent of her on the other side.
That is very true. But
playing with the Grateful Dead, trying to get cred.
I'm not gonna say anything because John Mayer, I love you. But I don't know. I just feel like she's you never know. Hey, you never know. I just feel like she's one of those people you either love or you hate, and it's whatever.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm sorry.
You think she's one of those people that
I'm as neutral as I can be on Taylor Swift.
You maybe not hate her, but or you don't love her, but you don't hate her.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand.
I think she's aight.
Okay. All right.
I'm not gonna be like fuck Taylor Swift, but I'm not trying to get on the floor at the Nissan Stadium.
And it wasn't like that I was trying necessarily to get on the floor to get close to her. We just lucked out to happen to stand in the right place at the right time when that happened, and I just didn't want to be in the nosebleeds. And hey, it's fun to be on the floor, like whatever. But I will say it was kind of surreal being that close to her though, just because she's someone that and this would apply to any celebrity, like, someone that you look at via your phone or social media or TV or blah, 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 whatever, for so long, and to be that close and, like, see their facial features and, like, their hair in the wind and, like, whatever, it's kind of a surreal thing. Right? And I feel that same way working in marketing at a venue where it's like I'm staring at images of these artists and people day after day after day after day, and to see them or meet them live and in person, it's just like, it's almost like weird. It's like, but it's a surreal thing, and it's just like, all right, here you are after all this time I've been staring at you.
It's like when I met Lenny Kravitz, same thing. It's just this weird.
Shorter.
Always. And they look way different. Like, especially marketing, we get all the Photoshop pictures. We're like, oh, they look great, and then, oh man, it's rough.
No, you're right though, because I don't get starstruck very often, but like when we were right next to Lenny Kravitz and like Kelby got a picture with him and shit, I was like, this is weird.
It's like
this
Kravitz short.
I don't remember him being necessarily tall or short.
Yeah. Like
I think he was
height.
my height. I would guess that Lenny Kravitz is 6 foot.
Yeah.
He maybe 5'11" because his hair does give him probably 4 or 5 inches depending on what style he's rocking at the time. But you were backstage at Hangout.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how it goes. Now, did you get to go back into the artist area?
Yep.
And like how great do they treat artists at Hangout?
Pretty good.
It's like heaven.
I felt like a princess.
It's unbelievable. Like,
yeah, it was fun.
Unreal.
But
do they have the green grass that you walk down to get to the place, so you don't have to walk in the sand?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
God.
And it's funny you say that about the starstruck thing, is because like I just work my way into being backstage like all the time, but I never know what anyone ever looks like because I don't know if it's like my ADD or I just really focus on like the music, and I never really watch anything anymore. Like especially MTV's dead, but I never know what anybody looks like. Like I'll be hanging out in the artist area and I could be talking to the lead singer of whatever band, and I like literally wouldn't know. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I'm really cool backstage and hanging out with people, famous people, because I have no idea who they are. It was funny. Even I was in Destin on spring break. I went to Auburn, and every year on spring break, where did everybody want to go? Destin, back home. So I couldn't even go crazy. My freshman year, all the girls wanted to wear little white tank tops without bras to the swamp for the foam party, and I was like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm from here. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But that year we went to Cold Stone Creamery over in the Commons. Is that still there? Cold Stone Creamery?
I don't think so. I think it's like that Kilwin's chocolate shop or something like that.
But
right?
Britney Spears was like 3 people ahead of us, and I had no idea. And so I was like, Tiffany, that's Britney Spears. And I'm like, is it? I don't even know. We ended up talking to her, and it totally was her. And she ordered a plain vanilla cone. Really? Yeah, so Spears. Lame. Totally
vanilla.
Uninspired.
Britney Spears.
Shit.
Remember when she got...
Is she one of those neutral people, or you love her, you hate her?
I don't... It's... For me to, like, hate a celebrity or be like, fuck that guy, it's got to be...
Okay, give me one.
I have to know Donald Trump. I have to know that there are serious character flaws with that person. I have to know that that person has done terrible things. I have to know that person has treated other people poorly.
Okay, I get that.
Aside from that, it'd be really hard. Like, even someone, name someone who you think makes terrible music. And I'll be like, their music sucks, but... Yeah, but still,
Widespread
to
Panic.
Nickelback, I think they're a terrible. I think Nickelback's a terrible band, but like, if I was with Chad, whatever his name is, Kroger, yeah, like if I saw him, I'd be like, hey man, good to meet you. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm weird about that.
I'm
shit.
teasing. I use the word hate lightly. I just I use it in like a entertainment celebrity.
I don't like Widespread Panic,
thing.
and I was nice as shit to JoJo
I know, I'm
when
kidding.
he met me, and he was a dick.
Well, now you know. And now you hate that.
And now I don't like it.
And now I hate you. Either love Widespread Panic or you hate Widespread Panic.
But just a great example of that with the Revivalists, when all those guys came into Funkies. Like, man, they were all the best people in the world. Like, they were just all really great people, super nice. The guitar player looks just like my friend Jared Moxley. It's really ridiculous. At least he did at the time. And I even showed him a picture, and he was like, dude, people tell me I look like people all the time. He's like, I look like that dude, for sure. And I was like, I know, dude.
Those guys, they're still cool.
Yeah. And, it's really funny, too, because it took them a decade before David Shaw could buy a house.
I don't know how
that's
they do
important. It. That's important. They don't stop. They go. And maybe I used to be like that a little bit, but now that I've been in the entertainment industry for so long, I think I have kind of a different view on that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, there aren't very many entertainers that I would be like, I dislike that person. But anyway.
Well,
You're just a good person, Jared.
I'm not, but I don't know.
But
you have to have a reason to dislike someone.
But yeah, artist areas and the festivals are usually like amazing.
Yeah.
But I get it.
Yeah, I feel like Hangout's different.
Hangout is definitely one of a kind place, and every artist I've ever met that gets to go to Hangout,
when they're back there, like, what is this?
Right, like they're on a festival on the beach, like, and it's they all always have very amazing things to say about that place. And,
Yeah.
and it's cool because I like the way that Hangout, like they bring artists in and put them on the small stages, and then a couple of years later, it's amazing to see that band grow and that band be on a big stage.
Yeah.
And I remember this year, or I guess that was 2017, that was 2 years ago. This band called the Suffers, they're out of Houston, and they were bragging like, oh yeah, when we first played Hangout however many years ago, we were in the teeny tiny text at the bottom of the poster. Now we're in the middle. And they were actually great. They were a great band, and you should check them out if ever. The Suffers. They call themselves Gulf Coast Soul. So they're good. Check them out.
I'm assuming that they're from
Texas.
Oh,
The
like Galveston?
Other side.
Yeah.
Other side of the Gulf.
Yeah, Gulf.
Yeah. We don't think about Texas being part of the Gulf Coast, do we?
They're not really.
It's just brown over there.
I don't know if
It's
they do. They even
shit.
claim it?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Do they claim the
yeah.
Gulf Coast? Texas
yeah.
claims Gulf Coast.
No, they're not the Gulf Coast. They're
Yeah,
just
but like
on-
they'll
they're just
they'll
on
say
the
we're
Gulf
It
we're on
is
the
the Gulf Coast, yeah. Well, what else would they call it?
I don't know. Like I feel like Texas. Texas is Texas. They want to be Texas. They want to be just Texas.
So it's the Texas coast?
They're, isn't it? They're a republic, right? They don't even call themselves a state.
No,
right?
they're Texas. They're a state.
No.
They-
Of
yeah, but-
Oh, they
course.
joke
They
about
call
their
themselves
But
mixes.
like they call themselves
Republic
the
of Texas,
Republic
yeah.
of Texas.
I don't
yeah.
know. Well, I lived in Austin. Austin's a very different place, but
Austin's not a part of Texas.
that's what I was saying. So it's kind of hard for me to argue that. But
Do you hang out in Nashville?
yeah, sometimes.
Like you go there often? Like
Yeah.
you know the different areas and
Yeah.
stuff? What's your take on East Nashville?
On East Nashville?
Yeah. Does it feel like people are dressed up in Halloween costumes all over the place?
I mean, you're talking to a girl with pink hair right now, so no. But
Okay.
that's just me.
Kramer's so hipster, he hates hipsters. Like, that's his thing.
Oh, gotcha.
No. That's not
Like
true
so what?
either.
So like what do you mean by like Halloween costumes? Like you mean like people are just like like that's like they're okay. So let me clarify.
You just
So
broke her.
you say that you think people are dressed up in costumes, but do you think that people are trying too hard and so they're putting on these costumes,
And they
or
end up
that's
all
just
looking this,
or
all
that's
the
just
same.
how weird that they are? They look like
It's
they're wearing
the
costumes.
Little boxes on the hillside. It's like, and they all made out
I
of
can't say
tacky,
I've never
and
been,
they
so
all-
I
Well,
really don't know
no.
what you're
So,
talking
no,
And
but
they
my
all
question
look
is,
just the same.
do you feel like it's unauthentic?
Yes, absolutely.
That they're wearing
I
those
feel,
things?
Yeah, I feel like they all.
So
try to
you
be
feel like it's a
so
uniform almost.
individualistic.
Give me a rundown. What is it?
Okay.
Give me a rundown.
So you feel like it's a uniform more than a costume?
Yeah, what's the uniform? Give me the rundown.
Black.
Top to bottom.
Black on black on
well,
black.
Well, not just that, but denim. Black and denim. So you're going to have your jeans. You're going to have some sort of aggressive definitely not a New Balance or a Nike or anything like that. It's going to be some sort of either boot or offshoot of a boot or some sort of leather type shoe. Okay, then you're going to have some sort of, if you're a male, some sort of skinny jean. If you're a female, you're going to be in some sort of dress. All right. If you're in a male, your skinny jeans are going to come up. You're going to roll up the bottom of them to complement your shoe in such a way. You're going to wear probably a tight black shirt underneath your jean jacket with some sort of hat to accentuate it. And glasses, even if they aren't prescription.
Well, don't you feel like that about everywhere, like here or even in Birmingham?
I don't feel like we
that
have
in
a huge-
Birmingham, the males have a quote unquote uniform. They all
Yeah.
look the damn same.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I get what you say. You could say that. Where's your fishing boat T-shirt? Your fucking khaki pants.
Wait,
your
what's the
fucking-
guy? Guy Harvey.
Your
It's the Guy Harvey.
croquets.
Yeah.
No, that's not cool. See, no, you have to. It has to be the charter fucking boat that you were working on.
Oh.
That you've been.
Okay, gotcha.
And now it's not even
Yeah.
a shirt; it's that performance fucking
Yeah,
bullshit.
PFG. What up?
PFG. Your Columbia shorts. You've got your rainbows on. You've got your croquis.
Yeah, I feel like Columbia gear, though, is how we separate tourists now, though. I don't feel like the local guys are wearing their Columbia shirts.
No. I said shorts, not shirts.
Tomato. It's
Might
the
be.
same. Whatever.
You're right. Let's just trash everyone. What don't? Let's pick another group of people to trash.
All right.
What do you got?
I just did one. It's your turn.
Oh, Destin people. I just went off on Nashville. Let's talk about some other people, Tiffany. You want to talk about Festy Kids?
Oh God.
That's right up your alley.
Okay, you know what? I will say, like, to apologize, but also take credit for the glitter trend. Like, that was totally me. I feel like I started that, but I also apologize for starting that. But, like, it was funny. Like, I went to Blackwater and was, like, covered in glow sticks and glitter the whole time. And then 10 years later, glitter and glow sticks were, like, a trend.
Trendsetter.
But I feel like that wasn't a thing, like, the 10 years leading up to what it is now.
It wasn't.
Like,
that moved out of, like, the rave scene and went into the festival scene, because now the festival scene became, like, the rave scene.
but I will take that credit as a trendsetter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
In such a different way, though. I'm glad you mentioned that, because like the rave scene, a lot of those kids, like, they had fresh haircuts, and you know what I'm talking about, like the
No, I'm talking
like the early, the late the mid 1990s to the late 1990s. The rave scene was mostly those kids don't look the same as the kids that are going to these electronic shows today.
Yes and no. I mean, yes, because it like blended, right? So you've got, like, club kids, you know, which that was, like, you know, big theatrical and whatnot.
I feel like there wasn't social media then either. People didn't give a shit what they looked like then because there wasn't anyone to document it.
Yeah.
And now people want to go to the nines for everything for a fucking Instagram post.
And then that's, yeah, so then you have this clash from where, like, the jam band kind of, like, moved, which they're still there, but you have this huge influx of electronic music. And came with that was the MDMA and all these rave drugs. And so now it's kind of blended.
All of that existed before, though.
What do you mean?
I feel like all those drugs existed before.
They did, but I'm saying they came out of the club and into the festival.
Yeah, we're talking about the
I
rave
understand
scene
what you're
in the 90s.
So-
Oh,
like
I
that-
understand what you're saying.
Like that first wave of, like, drum and bass and electronic music.
So these, like,
and
wooks
house
now
music.
are like this hybrid of, like, these hippies, but, like, rave kid. It's fucking weird.
But they like lasers, right?
Like, they like lasers, but, like, they wear, like, the baggy pants and shit, but they're not Jinkos. They're, like, this tie-dye shit they got some fucking head shop. Like, it's
They're
fucking
like
weird.
they're corduroy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Like,
That sounds so sweaty. That sounds so hot.
they've got these, like, big hats that you would
Well, you can wear them for 4 days straight.
Right.
with, like, feathers and bullshit.
Can
that
hide
you
all
would
your
see at a
drugs in
festival
them.
in, like, the 60s, but it's a fucking flat bill. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Like, it's fucking weird.
It's weird.
I get it. I mean, I would agree festival people have, like, a look, but I mean, and, you know, it's funny because, you know, I feel like half of the things that I wanted to do and liked however many years ago is now cool, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do any of that anymore.
Well, it's because
I like
we're
to be
old and
one-
lame now.
But I like to be one of a kind type thing, too. I want to be special, like, you know.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Like, I don't even wear glitter or do the glow stick thing anymore because everyone else is doing it. Like, I feel like, and that's what I love about the beauty of festivals. I feel like it's where you can go to be an individual, and I don't want to look like everyone else. Like, Burning Man's currently happening, and I'm extremely passionate about going next year, and I just love everything about the concept of Burning Man and the camaraderie and the community of it, and I'm going next year, like, no matter what. Like, it's funny, I made a pact with Reed Waddle, like, however many years ago, that we were going to go in 2016. I, like, made this note in my phone, and I don't remember how many years ago it was.
I don't think Reed's going.
But I know, but it was funny, though. It was funny, though, because we were like, oh, by the time 2016 comes around, we will have our lives in a certain place where we can take a month off of our life and go to Burning Man. And, I mean, yeah, and this is probably, hell, it's probably like 10 years ago, shit. I don't
Yeah.
know. But we were like, 2016, we're going to Burning Man, like, whatever. And obviously, that did not happen.
I love
and
Reed.
it's not
Reed's one of
going
my favorite people in the
I
world.
love Reed,
for
too.
sure.
I love Reed, too. for
Great
sure.
dude. Last time I went to Nashville, he was actually there doing some work with his publishing deal, and he came out and kicked it with me a little
Oh,
bit during the
nice.
show and stuff, and was able to talk to him. And it's always good to catch a couple drinks with Reed, for sure. He's always he's got a level head when it comes to the music industry too. He's been through it.
Oh, for sure.
He's been through.
I
a
will
lot
say
of
that's
stuff,
one
and-
side of the industry I have not experienced. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't been on the, like, that creative artist side, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I've experienced the backstage stuff, the selling stuff, and the
bit.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then the audience side, but that is one side of the industry I don't have a lot of experience with.
Yeah, he's doing it right now. He's on a publishing deal and all that, so he's dealing with the frustrations with that, but also, you know, he's trying to get some cuts here and there, getting some songs sold.
I'm sure it's a struggle these days. I mean, just like the way the music industry is with the streaming and the YouTubes and the Spotify's and all that stuff. So I can imagine it's not easy.
Yeah. Well, thanks for driving down to Birmingham and coming and talking some shit. We've been going an hour and 15 minutes already.
Oh, wow.
Whether you believe that or not.
Yeah. Flew by.
That's a thing. So, Thanks for coming in. Do you have anything else that you want to address that people should know about?
I do. This beer is fucking outrageous.
Do you like it?
This is not what I was expecting.
It's delicious.
It was a sour.
It's almost sour, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Berlinger.
sour.
Berlinger Weiss.
Yeah.
Weiss. I don't really know. It's delicious beer. That's all I know. It's passion fruit and
So
guava.
Euphoria now.
Yeah, Euphoria. Yeah, from Trim Tab in Birmingham. Shout out.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to bring you a gift from the Beham, and which I don't want to hate on Birmingham. I do like it. I just am not in love with it, but I'm getting there. So, thanks for thinking that I'm interesting enough to come in and chit chat with you guys. And if you guys want to see how close I got to Taylor Swift, you can follow me on Instagram.
Yeah, give out your stats.
At Tiff Don't Kill My Vibe.
You can also just look up the hashtag I want to live in a festival forever.
Yes, you'll
you'll
find
see
me
them all.
there easily. And, you'll find.
Did you create that hashtag, or is that or did you bogart that and you've adopted it as your own?
Well, it's funny because I used to say I want to live in a music festival forever, but I didn't want to, I like food festivals and art festivals. I like all festivals, let's be real. So I just did. I want to live in a festival forever. But not a lot of people want to type that whole thing out. So most of the hashtag is exclusively me. So enjoy.
Well, right on. I hope if that's your goal, I hope that when you die, rather than singing praises to Jesus 24/7, you'll be able to live in a festival
I
forever.
appreciate that.
So,
I take that to heart. Thank
right
you.
on. Well, cheers. Thanks for hanging out with us. Y'all hit us up, WIMTY, WIMTY.podcast@gmail.com. Hit up Tiffany on Tiff Don't Kill My Vibe on Instagram. If you're in the Birmingham or the Alabama area, I know UAB, I see you're putting on shows all the time there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So go check out some of the stuff that they're doing with their art center and all that stuff. And thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you all next week.
Holler.
My heart was always telling me how I felt. My car was always telling me to put on my seatbelt. Stop sign is always telling